بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. So Qari Siddiq Sahib rahmatullahi alayh, he's mentioning, this is the book we're discussing. So in here he mentions a story about Mawlana Ali Miya rahmatullahi alayh. So Mawlana Ali Miya, Mawlana Abul Hasan Ali, an-Nadwi rahimahullah ta'ala, the one whose Qisas an-Nabi, part 1 to 5 you read. So those are the 5 books that we're very familiar with. We've read many other books. So Mawlana Ali Miya rahmatullahi alayh was he was world renowned. He was world renowned for his writings, for his speeches. But a very, very simple person. Very, very simple person. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestowed upon him great i'zaz and izzah in his dunya. When he passed away, certain instances they have salatul janaza for the ghaib, for the person who's not there. So in the Haram Makki and Haram Madani, I think in both places, when he passed away, they performed salatul janaza for him in these 2 blessed places on the king's hukam and his order. That's how, and Allah has given him great izzah. He received the King Faisal Award for Islamic work, many things. But this was very, very simple. If you look at his house when he passed away, somebody was saying that the most expensive thing he left behind in his house was a radio, a small radio and a cassette player. That was the most expensive thing he left behind, and he received thousands. A King Faisal Award itself is worth hundreds of thousands. And his house is very, very simple. So Mawlana Ali Miya rahmatullahi alayh is a very, very world-renowned personality, but along with this, he was very, very simple. The money or the fame, none of these things turned his head. You understand? So nowadays, somebody gets a job, they get good pay, then straight away. Even the imam get good pay, then big car, expensive car, flashy car. So the ulama who were well known for their efforts and their works, even if they did receive lots of money, they would not be flashy. They would give it in sadaqah. Maybe if they kept it, they would not use it for flashy purposes. Do you understand? So anyways, so Mawlana Qari Siddiq Sahib rahmatullahi alayhi speaking regarding him, and he said that Mawlana Ali Miya rahmatullahi alayhi, as I said before, he was very, very simple. So it was Nadwatul Ulama, I don't know the full details of this, but it was a very simple place. But because as he became more and more famous, more and more people started to come to visit him. So you have guests coming, so now you have to host a guest. And nowadays you have day journeys, day trips. In those times when somebody comes, they would spend 2-3 days coming to you, arriving to your madrasa and your place, and then they would spend a day or 2 with you. You have to have a mihman, we call it mihman khana, for the guest. So they didn't have anything like this. So it was what the people in Mawlana Ali Miya rahmatullah, he was not in favor of decorations and pomp and all that. He didn't like all of that. It's very simple. So what the people in the madrasa had done is that Mawlana Ali Miya rahmatullah, he traveled a lot frequently. He had many journeys for lectures and bayans. When he went, they had it planned. As soon as he left Nadwa, then they started the construction of the room for the hostel. So by the time he comes back, it'll be finished. And obviously, once they constructed, he's not going to destroy it, he's not going to break it down again. So that's what they planned it. That when Mawlana Ali Miya rahmatullah, when he goes, we will then construct this little room and hostel for that thing. Do you understand? And when he came back, he said, "Aapne mere saath acha nahi kiya. You didn't do a good thing. You didn't like what you did. You can't." So he goes, "You never done something good to me. You done a bad thing to me." So again, sometimes you have to do these things. Elders, like, it needs to be done, but they're not letting you do it. So sometimes you can disobey them in things like this. Like, he's not allowing it, but it's because he didn't like it. But obviously, it was a need, and people around him understood the need that this is something that needs to be done. So this is what the real ulama, they understand that the real work is not in all of these adornments and decorations. Sometimes people spend more money on trying to decorate the place than focusing on, are the students performing salah or not? Are the students learning the lessons or not? Are the students, do they have akhlaq or not? Do they have taqwa or not? The madrasa is not buildings. If you look at in the history of our ulama, nobody ever built a madrasa, then found students. They've always found students, worked on them, worked on the tarbiyah, worked on the manners and the akhlaq and the taqwa and the ilm. And as time went along, then the madrasa developed. Nowadays we're more focused on what? We're more focused on the name aspect, the things that are in the public eye. Obviously that's also another issue as well, to make sure you have good public relations, etc. But that was never the primary goal of our ulama. What was the primary goal? The primary goal was ilm and amal. And then everything else comes second. And again, I'm not criticizing, everybody has different reasons and different niyat. But sometimes you see like, students are more worried about making a cake for the Bukhari jalsa than understanding Bukhari. Sometimes you see that you have people put on their WhatsApp, the Instagram status and the WhatsApp status that they graduated from Bukhari and make a cake that looks like Bukhari, or makes a cake that looks like Tirmidhi. So the niyyah, I can't judge anybody's niyyah, but You're spending so much time on that, and have you actually understood the Bukhari? Have you understood the Hadith? Have you understood the ruh of the Hadith? That becomes the primary goal. So I'm not criticizing anybody. What I'm saying is that we should think that first and foremost is what? The essence is, what happens is that the ruh is more important. The inner aspect of everything is more important. If these things aren't right, then everything will fall in place. These things are not important. They're secondary. But we have because we live in a material world. We live in the Western world. It's everything is materialistic. That's why they say, no, we have killed God. They have books. We have killed God. God no longer exists. We don't. So we live in a very material world. So even in our studies, in our madrasa, and things that we do, we're very materialistic. And the spiritual aspect, or the ruh, the real Islamic aspect, that goes away. So to us, we spend a lot of time, effort, and attention on peripherals, on what seems to be the madda, the material things of the class, the material things of the madrasa, the material things of our institutes, and the real spirit and the real essence. Forget about those things. It doesn't mean that it is not exclusive, either this or that. It can have both, but give priorities. So priority should be what? What the purpose of murder says. What about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala send the Rasul? يَتْلُو عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتِهِ وَيُزَكِّيهِمْ وَيُعَلِّمُهُمُ الْكِتَابِ ta'aleem, tarbiyah, purification of the heart, propagation, calling people towards Islam. And everything. And the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, again, same thing. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, many times, many different instances, you see the Prophet was sleeping or something, and he wakes up, and the mattress, not the mattress, but the sheet he's sleeping on is so thin, or he doesn't have a sheet, he's sleeping on a straw mat, so it leaves marks on his body, it leaves marks on his side. Why? Because it's a mali walid dunya. What is me? What is the dunya? Dunya is not my objective. Dunya is ma ana illa karakibin istadalla tahta shajaratin. I'm just like a traveler. We're traveling in a desert. It's hot. Afternoon nap. We sit under a tree. We lie down. We go to sleep. We get up and we go away. So under the tree, that's what the dunya is like for me. Small. So we should not get caught up in just as the worldly people get totally caught up in the dunya. That becomes the ilah and the ma'bud, the money, the wealth, the fame. Even in deen, even though we believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we're doing religious things. We should not let these religious things be overwhelmed by the madda and the materialism that we're surrounded by. Make sure that the essence is the taqwa, the essence is the Islam, the essence is the ilm. And these peripherals are things that come secondary. Do you understand? This is the essence of the teachings of our ulama. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the ability to act upon this. And whilst we're here, there's another story about Mawlana Al-Miya rahmatullahi alayhi. So Mawlana Qari Siddiq Sahab Bandhu rahmatullahi alayhi, he had invited Mawlana Al-Miya rahmatullahi alayhi for a jalsa. And in those times, as I said to you before, in Banda, they were the madrasa were very, very simple. There were a few handmade buildings here and there. So for to go toilet, they were like classical, like the Arabs. They go to the jungle. They go in the jungle and have a hole or someplace where they would relieve themselves from their needs. But when they were calling Mawlana Al-Miya rahmatullahi alayhi, then they thought that obviously we're calling our guests, so we need to make a kind of not a flushing toilet like how we have, but at least like a closed building. Yeah, so like how we have the old Indian toilets, or the old external toilets that we have, even in England, the old external toilets, like a building, and then have a big hole. So they prepared that for Mawlana Al-Miya rahmatullahi alayhi, Mawlana Hasan rahmatullahi alayhi. So until then, they never had any of this in Madrasa. When Mawlana Al-Miya rahmatullahi alayhi, he arrived for the jalsa, he realized that they had built this for him only. So he said, so he said that I will come here, I will do as you do. I don't want this specialty for me. So when he came to sleep a few days because he came for Jalsa, a long journey by train, and Banda was in the middle of the jungle. So he came by train, and then from the train he got off. So he stayed for a few days, but he didn't use the toilet. Not the flushing toilet, but the toilet which just has like a room with a hole in it. He said, no, I'm not going to use that one. I'm going to, what the normal students use, and they go out to the jungle and relieve themselves in the jungle, I will just do that as well. So I don't feel right that you guys have gone out of your way to build this for me, just for me and only me. So then he said, no. See the simplicity of our ulama, and this simplicity, this zuhud, abstinence from the dunya, is what gave them their true, that's the distinguishing characteristic. That they would stay firm on the deen, stay firm on the sunnah, love for Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and simplicity. So never let these things go. As I said before, in the material world, so even in our religious circles, materialism comes about. Our clothes become the predominant worry. Our car becomes the predominant worry. Our food becomes the predominant worry. These peripherals and these things that are extra become the important. Let's focus on the main things. If these main things are there, everything will be there. What's the main thing? Taqwa, ilm, amal, tilawa, dhikr, good character, good manners, da'wah to people, calling people towards Islam, worry for the ummah. If these things are there, then everything else is secondary. Everything will fall into place. You understand? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us ability to understand their methodology and emulate the great practices. Subhanallah wa bihamdi, subhanallah wa bihamdi, wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.